Yo, what's up guys? Rich on Touch Loops here, and today we're looking at Distorted Visions interactive demo number 3. If you've been following along with the product launch, what we're doing is we're trying to do something a little bit different. So instead of releasing a normal sample pack, which has loops, one-shots, things of the sort, which, granted, is included in the pack, we also wanted to give you the opportunity to get inside these sample packs. So instead of just handing over loops and one-shots, as I've mentioned, we also wanted to give you the sessions that they were made in, the Ableton instruments, the one-shots, the racks, the way we've mixed them, everything all within Ableton. So it just means you can actually get inside there and see how it's made, and also copy and paste these things into your projects, save the instruments, drag out mix chains, whatever you want to do, it's available. You can change the notes and you're not trapped within the medium that we provide. So this is the third one we've put together. I just wanted to quickly spin through it so you could listen to it and then also see what you'd be getting if you were to purchase this collection. So for those that don't know, this is Ableton. There's an instruments video, which I'll link to in the top corner, which shows you the instruments that we've created for the demos. This you'll see throughout the session. It's going to be a combination of using those instruments, using drum racks, using one-shots, using loops, combination of everything, and whatever you see on screen is what you'll receive if you were to buy the collection. So yeah, let's have a quick spin through this first one, and then we can talk about how it's made, how it was mixed, and then yeah, see how we get on. Cool, okay, that was track 1. That's the intro. As I've mentioned, every single instrument has this attack, decay, sustain, release at the bottom, and then there will be 4 macros at the top, which are things which we think are important to the sound. So that layers up nicely with this pad. Again, you'll see it's a combination of audio, MIDI, drum racks, and things of the sort, just to show you how nicely they tie together. It's all labeled so you can easily find them. If there's corresponding MIDI, which for most of this there is, you'll also be able to find that because it's got the same name, nice and simple, and really easy to keep flowing. Lush atmospheres. Okay, onto the drums. Smash kit. So you know that when you look for the loops, it's going to be called smash kit. So we've already bounced this out, but if you wanted to get in there with the MIDI and the drum rack, more than available. So we can go through the sounds. Quite cool, all very 80s. EQ, pretty radical. Wanted to keep things dark. So as you can see, the EQ is a little bit aggressive, got a bit of a point, scoop on the low mids because they caused some problems, and we rolled off the tops because it was quite a bright mix. Layered that up with some perk, sidechain to the kick. Next in the layer, sub, which you'll notice is the same as the one on the way in, but what we've done is we've run a different envelope. We've got a sidechain, filters down but drives fully up. Beautiful, all rolls. Led with the pad. And then the final section is the lead line. As you can see, when you buy the session, you get all our automation as well. So you can see where we've been fading things in, we've been changing dials, we've been moving things. It just means you get to really experience the mix in the way that we wanted it. And hopefully it gives you some ideas, some tips, and you can put them into your tracks. So the ARPs. Cool. Okay. As is with the charm with these things, you're going to get lots of weirdness, which is exactly what we were looking for. You can see you've got all the automation that we've done. So sustain's been pushed around, decay's been pushed around, as you can see. Envelope release, hence it running on for so long, is kind of up at 15 seconds. If we were to want to get rid of that, we could obviously fade this out, which we could do like that. It just gives you the vibe, and it just gives you the attitude of the pack that we're looking to show. So on to number 2. Okay, let's break it down. Drums, nothing on the group. But as you can see, all the automation's there. This is using Ableton's hi-hat synth. But obviously it's been programmed, the patterns available to you, and also the automation as well. Got a high acoustic kick. Great sounding kick. Snare level 1. The thin one. Clap. And the third layer. Cool, okay, so as you can see, we're building up weight, we're building up a full frequency spectrum. The really nice thing about having these multiple layers is that if we were to, say, want to darken the snare, instead of reaching for an EQ, we can just pull down the brightest sound. Or if it's feeling too heavy, we can just back off on that low snare, and it just means we've got a lighter outcome. It's full flexibility. Next up, bass. And again, this is another instrument that we've created and is available within the pack. And layered with a sub. The sub was made using wavetable, and it looks like we've really utilised the richness of those sine waves just to get the most weight out of the instrument we can. EQ not doing much, but as you can see, the art is in the LFO. So the LFO is driving this EQ to basically give that effect of it opening, you'll see. And that's in time with the bass above. Sidechained, so together and with the drums. And then finally, it's filled out with this outrageously cool sounding mallet. This next section is using one of the stock Ableton sounds, but obviously we've manipulated it to sound how we want, and it just shows the quality you can get from these inbuilt sounds. It's worth looking at this last bit of the demo because you get these amazing flows from the previous sections because the release is so long. That just vibes so nicely with the next bit. So let's hear it in action. And on to beat number 3. Right, let's start with the drums. Again, all labeled so it's nice and clear. One shots, which obviously are in the pack, but they're also in your drum rack, so it's simple. Huge kick. Massive, massive rim shot. Looks like we've got some stereo widening on there. Thanks, Ableton. Fat hat. And a little bit of taped Foley, just the end with the drum bus on the end of it. And together. Combined with these FX off hits. So they were made using a 808 going into an EQ, just rolling off some of the bottom end because we've got sub coming from our bass later on. Overdrive, which is giving it those extra harmonics. Reverb, pretty big, 4 and a bit seconds. And then into a compressor at the end, which is side chaining off our drums. Just making it breathe. We've got a percussion line underneath. Again, all available. Just a single clap. Modulation going off on the clap, so we've got the envelope being manipulated. Bass, free Ableton synth, going into an envelope filter that's got a little bit of envelope and a little bit of LFO, into chorus, and then sidechain at the end. For anyone who doesn't use Ableton or hasn't got Ableton 11 or the full version, you can get a 90-day trial of it. But if not, you can buy this pack as just loops and one-shots and also MIDI. So feel free to follow along with the video or recreate it yourself or just use the audio. It's all available. Beautiful sound design. And then at the end, Ocean Plucks. Beautiful. All together. Okay, on to the final one. Beat number 4. Cool, okay, so this one looks like a combination of synths, loops, and one-shots. Okay, we've been effecting the release at the end and also the dry wet mix as you get to the end of the song. If you press A and then click on something, obviously it reveals the automation for you so you can see exactly what we've been doing. Cool, what have we got? Kick. Really weird and roomy, but we've got some stereo widening. And then that layers up nicely with the 808 underneath, which is where the fatness comes from. Big acoustic snare. Classic shaker. And a low-pitched hi-hat. And together. Onto the final bass. Sounding rich. So again, we've got a tiny bit of mixing, just dropping out some of those low mids and then also bringing up the tops just to get that rich noise, which I really wanted to show. Okay, massive wide sounding Reese, perfect for this kind of style. It's got the 80s feel, but at the same time would sound massive in a D&B track. You could really rip that. So as you can see, same as always, attack decay, sustain release. We've also got filter control. So if we listen to that. Redux, which is going to be a bit rate, as you can see. These are the plugins that have been added to the end of it. And then chorus. The Redux is just incredible for getting that breaking down, like completely collapsing feel about it. You'll see as it gets to the end of the note, the Redux just kicks in and it just completely collapses, which sounds dope. Cool, so there it is. That's Distorted Visions demo number 3. I've put all these in a playlist on YouTube so you can check them all out. As I say, it's a really good overview of what you're going to be getting within the collection. It's super Ableton friendly, but at the same time, we didn't want to discourage people who don't use Ableton. So loops, MIDI, one-shots, all available. Cool, thanks guys.